Joe, what's going on, man?
Good morning. How are
Yeah,
you?
I'm good. I'm good. You're right on schedule. You got the Christmas stuff up right after Thanksgiving. We don't even get a chance to talk about Thanksgiving. Right onto the Christmas, huh?
It is, yeah, it is. We like to get ready, right after Thanksgiving, and because we like to enjoy the decorations and the ambiance as much as much as we can there.
I will admit, not admit, I will acknowledge and praise. You guys do. I think of all my circle of friends of the Christmas celebration spirit decoration. Anyway, I don't know where all of it all fits, but it's the best. It's fantastic. Yeah, this is the you have like these 11-foot ceilings and you got this tree all the way up there. That's not the
Right.
that's an auxiliary tree behind
This
you,
is
right?
an auxiliary tree. Yes,
Yeah.
that's a
Okay.
good term for it. And actually, it is a new tree this year. We like to set up a different feel in this room.
Okay.
We've got the little baubles up there, and yeah, it feels good in here. I like it. I like it.
Excellent. Well, good for you. And I'm seriously, I don't have the eye for decoration. Not that practical of a. That stuff's a little impractical for me. But yeah, I'm happy for you, and it did make me celebratory. No, that wouldn't be celebratory mood. Anyway, I enjoy the mood
Well,
at your house.
well, I mean, this is not my eye for for decoration. You think I'm doing this?
A little, yeah. I think you got a little touch for it.
Maybe a little bit, but yeah, there's somebody else in my house that really likes to do it. But I really enjoy it. I actually do like, taking the time after Thanksgiving to get in the mood and put out all the decorations, and I think it's fun. It was a good weekend this past weekend.
Nice, man. Nice. I'm glad for it. You had a good Thanksgiving? How'd it go?
Yeah, it was great. It was nice. It was relaxing. I mean, it was busy up until Wednesday night. Wednesday night we had 50 people.
Oh, now all right. So we had sort of predicted / hoped for some shenanigans. Any shenanigans? Any love connections that evening?
I'm trying to think. No, there was nothing. No, and I wouldn't want anything to happen actually with the people that were there. There was nothing debaucherous or anything like that. There was a lot. It was not a weird group. It was an odd group of people, which is always always nice.
That's where the magic happens, though. You got to get the odd combos. Nobody ended up in the pool or anything.
No, I think. I mean, yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't. It was fun, but I think everybody was pretty much paired up.
Gotcha.
And we had a few folks from the local bar that we've befriended over this.
Well, that's that's what I'm saying. Not like, hey, what's up? Well, thank you so much. We got okay. You know what? I do need to do a little Christmas tree at the car wash. That would I could be a little bit festive, couldn't I? All right.
Yes, you can be.
I could be. Not to take away from where you're at, because I do want to hear about the Thanksgiving. I have a little neighbor. I wouldn't say a dispute, but my neighbors, they have this row of pine trees.
Okay.
Their pine cones and needles are constantly in my drains. They clog up my drains. They mess up my outside bay, but they're on their property. So maybe in a little passive aggressive move, I should buy some lights and decorate their pine trees. Instead of chopping them down, because that's what I really want to
do. Now, is that what kind of message would that send? I don't understand what kind of message it would send, though.
Well, it would send that the weird snake dude has a little Christmas spirit, and he's not that bad of a dude.
Do they think you're a bad dude?
I don't know what they think. I'm annoyed because they don't understand how to latch their garbage lids. So I find their hair treatment boxes all over the neighborhood and all over my property, and that annoys me.
Okay.
So I bought some bungee cords that I was going to go secure their trash lids with, and I was like, let me not pick fights yet. Not yet. I'm not going to yet. But then I know that there's been several people that, like, it's a hair salon. They go get their hair cut there, and then they're like, Adam, everybody in that place talks about your snakes. I'm like, okay, well, that's cool.
They do.
Yeah.
They go. I mean, I'm sure it's like, oh, there's a lot of snakes over there, or whatever. It's not.
Yeah, they're like, I don't know about that. This guy moved in and he bought the place, and I figure I just do what I do and do it well. Isn't that like an old hip hop song? Doing it and doing it well. That's it. That's what I just do what I do, man. I'll do it well.
Do your snakes well.
That's right. And the car wash, I keep it clean. I repainted the place. It looks nice. That's Screw them. Hey, yes. They can get on board being happy or not. That's up to them.
I mean, have you met them?
No.
Maybe just an introduction, to start off would be better than anything. Just go, hey, what's up?
Yeah. See, I'm very tied in with my LL Cool J references. That's what you get from Adam.
Because LL Cool J, the cutting edge rapper from 1986.
He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, my friend. I'll let you know.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that's how old he is.
Yeah, okay, all right. That's how old I am too. Okay.
You had a good Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we had a good Thanksgiving. The one thing I didn't want to say it last show because it was gonna be a downer, and it's still a downer, but I'm a little better now. But last Wednesday we had to say goodbye to one of our dogs. Man, it came time. Baxter was he was a rat terrier, and Kelly found him at this rat terrier rescue page online. We'd had a rat terrier before and had good happy life with him, and he had lived to 14 or so. That was Kirby. This is Baxter. So Kelly finds Baxter, and Baxter has had his eyes removed, amputated. So there's no eyes left, and they were sewn shut. And he was still pretty functional at that time. They figure he was around, 10, 11, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. And he did like this, almost like sonar thing. Like he would sway his nose, and if he tapped something, he knew to go the other way, and so we could walk him and all of that. But, his hips started to fail, and anxiety and panic kind of set in. He was on a whole lot of meds just to get through a day. And so anyhow, we sent Baxter, what do you say, over the rainbow or something like that?
Over the Rainbow Bridge, I think.
Yeah. So he's, I like to say he's out chasing rabbits. His hips are working. His eyes are back. He's out there. So
that's rough, man. And Baxter was such a cool dog. Met him a few times, and just so cute and so nice and friendly. And when you were around him, I thought it was a very calm presence, actually. Even though you said he has anxiety and stuff, but
that was fairly recently. He I would assume he didn't exactly know where he was. He didn't know where Kelly and I were, and there was a fairly constant, anxiety / panic kind of thing.
Yeah. So it's like when you think of dogs, there's this saying oh, give me the puppy dog eyes, right?
Yeah.
That's really cute. The puppy dog eyes, that's very, very cute. But even cuter than that is when a dog comes for you and finds you just using his nose and
has no eyes,
and has no eyes. I couldn't imagine how cute that was until I got Baxter.
Well, I try and explain it to people. I don't think people it's a really weird sensation to see a dog with literally no eyes where they should be. There's little sockets where they were sewn shut, but he would just he'd just come up to you, so
awesome dog. And I'm so sorry that you, I mean, I guess you have to go through it. I haven't been through it yet. But that's got to be a really, really hard thing. Yeah.
It is, and you anyway, it is really hard, and it's a surreal thing to make this super, super finite. It's the most finite decision you can make, and that's it didn't feel exactly right. I knew it was, and I still know it is, but it just you kind of go, well, maybe not. And then you're like, no, this bad day is the best day he's ever going to have, because every other day was going to be worse, So, so that was Wednesday. And
you talked, and you do. I mean, I have talked to people who have said, they didn't do it. They didn't make that decision, and it was wrong of them. Like, they regret not making the decision.
That and there was like a day, probably 4 or 5 days before last Wednesday, like his hips just he just fell right in place where he was, and you start going, let's let the boy rest, So so that was Wednesday, and but we did have a good Thanksgiving. Kelly's folks moved back to Minnesota. They live about an hour from us, and they were really excited to host us at their place. So we went down and did that. And then winter came. We got like 10 inches of snow. Joe, it is minus. Let me see. Let's see what the latest update is. I think it's minus 11 right now. Let me see. Yeah, it's bloody cold, man. It is. I don't know if it'll focus or not. Anyway, that in the top left corner says minus 11 right now. That is
minus 11.
Yeah, that's not wind chill. That's just actual, cold. It's legit.
Nah. I'm not down with that.
Yeah.
I'm not down with that anymore. I get that Florida blood now.
When you own a facility that is driven by water and holds reptiles, and it's minus 11, you don't sleep as well as you maybe would want.
Oh, jeez, yes. I can't imagine.
I was up fairly early this morning. Keep an eye. Everything was good though. It was good. Even the I didn't run the supplemental heat, so the snake nerds will enjoy this. I didn't run the supplemental heat, and this morning when I woke up, it had only gotten down to 69 in there. So I kicked on the space heater, and we'll be back up at 74 or so in the next hour, and it'll be good. And then the snakes will know it's winter, and wintertime is when they know, hey, time to start making some more snakes for old Adam.
Really? I'm confused, actually. By the way, this is Proper Cup of Joe, and I always have questions.
That's right.
For the snake breeder. I thought it was. I thought they paired later in the year. No.
Well, we got some new faces. Flawless hanging out. Phil's here. Good stuff. I think here's what happens, Joe. I think if these animals were left to their own devices in nature and humans didn't get involved, they would say, hey, it's winter, and after winter comes spring, and spring is when we want to have these babies. So winter, they start pairing. What happens is, over generations, none of my animals are from the wild, but an animal gets shipped from Florida to Minnesota, and it doesn't know what's going on with the season. And then I'm done breeding it, and I ship it to friends in South Carolina, and then it's a different season there, kind of thing. So some of it is just kind of what we create for it, and then some breeders like myself, generally, I kept it at the same temperature year round. This is the first year I'm going to mess with some temperature drops. To let it know.
Made you make that decision?
Well, mostly just trying to figure out. Two things: trying to figure out the temperatures in the new facility, and then secondly, really spending some time with some mentors here in Minnesota of, hey, what do you guys do? What works for you? What do you see from your snakes? Because for me, handling snakes or caring for them in Florida is a much different ball game than caring for them in Minnesota. I'm learning.
Sure.
In my mind, consistency is the root of all good systems and processes. That's all great until a snake goes, I need to know when it's winter so I know when to make babies, kind of thing.
Right.
So, so anyhow, I'm going to try just a little temperature drop this year. Phil mentioned he keeps 74 winter temperature. And so I think it's good for one night for it to get down to that 69. No big deal. Like tonight, the low will only be 17. So, I mean, I'll be back in, it'll be like, Club Med there that's in a few hours. So it's good.
How long is pairing season? Is there like a pairing season?
I mean, again, like the quote, the season
You're
would
making
be
it,
would be over winter and through spring, but
okay.
with the technology of ultrasounds or just knowing the
It can
biological
just
time clock, yeah, it's here. I mean, I just hatched the very last clutch of 2025 for myself.
okay,
So
okay,
like
gotcha.
that pairing that female, excuse me, I won't pair her again until May or June. So
Okay, gotcha.
yeah. So it is year round, but there's sort of a natural cycle and then there's some outliers kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting.
Yeah.
So your one thing was Baxter. You had a
Yeah.
good Thanksgiving. You went somewhere for Thanksgiving then, huh?
Yeah, just an hour south of here. It didn't feel like we really went anywhere. It was, fairly local, not the, we didn't have to pack up suitcases or get on a plane or anything like that. We were back home that evening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cool.
So,
Well, I wanted to ask you. I am heading out of town this weekend. I was going to ask the chat too. Going to Austin, Texas this weekend. I've only been there once, one night, just visiting there one night many years ago. But heading there this weekend. Aiden's got a big national kicking showcase there this weekend. So that's what we're
excellent.
doing.
Gonna get a little scholarship.
Yeah, we're trying to, scholarship. So we're going to Austin. Wanted to see if you knew anything about Austin. Wanted to see if anybody else knew anything about Austin and the places that we should hit up if we get a chance to be there. It might be a pretty packed weekend. I'm not sure, but just wondering if anybody knew anything that we definitely needed to do if we went to Austin.
I got you covered, Joe.
You do? Okay, I got my pen.
I was very similarly in Austin for exactly one night. I bought a Toyota Tacoma in Tucson, Arizona, and I was driving it back to Jacksonville, Florida across I-10. And I spent an evening in Austin, Texas.
Sounds like an Eagles song, actually.
Trust me, I know. Yeah. We're not going to do that. But I made it and it was good. Cooper's Barbecue downtown.
Okay.
Cooper's, that's the one. And one thing I love to do, if it I don't know what dictates it, but if I walk into a place and I'm like, this is the business, they know what's going on in here. If that's the case, I let the staff choose everything that I have. So I walk in, I get hit with it like, this place is the business. They know what's going on here. And it's one of these places. It is a restaurant and it is a full bar, but you still got to get in line and you have to order immediately when you come in. So I get there and I'm like, hey, what's the very best meat that you got? What are you famous for? He says the brisket. I said, all right, let's go. He goes, do you want the lean side or the fatty side? I said, I don't, you tell me, what is it good? He goes, you got to get the fatty side. Why are you getting brisket otherwise? I said, okay, get that. So I go through the whole line that way. I think I got some jalapeno mac and cheese, and it's
a buffet line. You walk through it, and you get a tray, and you like that kind of thing, or no?
Well, they serve you, but you do have to order it, and then they have like a bar. They have the picnic tables in the dining room. Like it's a real Texas barbecue kind of feel, but it's right downtown, and like you pay by the pound, like they're cutting it. They're like, how much you want? I'm like, more. Okay, boom. And then they set it on a scale and then they set it on your plate. So it's all banging. It was excellent. I go to the bar, same thing. The lady says, what do you want to drink? I said, you call it. What do if I'm having brisket at your place, what do I have to have to drink? And she says, well, I'm going to make you a really smoky margarita with a spicy rim. I was like, margarita with barbecue? I'm like, all right. When in Austin? Oh, chef's kiss. Joe, I loved it. I forgot your name. I loved it so much. It was so good. I still tell this story years later. So Cooper's Barbecue right downtown. And then I'll have to text a picture to you. I asked the bartender, I said, hey, where are the music scene? Where do I have to go? I'm here one night. What can I not miss? Boom. She pulls off a sheet of printer paper And I remember it because in the end, they used the thermal paper. I was like, ooh, thermal paper. That's what you use on a good printer. And she wrote a list of all the places. And I still keep that list in my chain wallet for some reason.
Really?
I have no idea why, but just for moments like this when people go to Austin.
Just in case your chain wallet, like in your wallet that you carry around all the time?
No, so my chain wallet is my travel wallet. That's the one.
Okay.
It chains to my pant loop, and yeah, proper cup of Jeff. I don't know what got me. I have a meeting with a guy named Jeff in an hour and a half. But
you said chef's kiss.
Chef's kiss, and I tried to say Joe. That's what it. Thank you for bailing me out. Right. Yeah. So no, the chain wallet is just my travel wallet. It's so big and clunky, and it chains to me. It's impossible to lose and forget, and it doesn't get stolen because it's chained to me. So when I travel, I use my chain wallet.
Got you. And it's still in there, and you should text it to me.
I'm going to text you the handwritten list from the bartender. And when you go to Cooper's, you should be like, "Hey, my buddy was in here 4 years ago, and you wrote this list for him. What do you think?" You could be really creepy that way.
Okay, it was just 4 years ago then, huh?
Yeah, it wasn't that long. I haven't had that. It was when I lived in Jacksonville, so it was either 2021 or 2022.
And then somebody said up here, it looks like somebody said, "Oh yeah, Joe Rogan's Comedy Club." Yeah, in Austin. Yeah, what is that place called? It's like.
Don't we get enough Joe? Like you're gonna travel and still be inundated. That guy's everywhere. You gotta go find. You gotta dig deeper. You gotta find the stuff that's not everywhere. No,
yes, yeah. I get it. Yes,
no problem with Joe Rogan, but he's everywhere. He follows my Proper Pythons page. I'll have you know.
He does.
Yeah, it's a little crazy. Yeah, I was like, whoa, look at that. All right, man, everybody's hanging out. We got Charlie, we got Joe. I speak about the Minnesota mentors and checking temps, and boom, in pops Joe from JSA. How about that? All right, well,
great.
We got the heavy hitters. We better get to some content then, huh, Joe?
Okay, let's do it. Yeah. Do you want to talk about the people who keep the lights on here, or do you want to skip that and then talk about that later?
No. That's the most important. We should talk about that very first. First and foremost, right there is a logo for the folks at Heart of the Python, and that is Bill and Kate Peaver out in Massachusetts. They're doing cool stuff, and they're very wonderful people. They are dog groomers. Kate has a dog grooming business, which I have flirted with the idea of converting another bay into a place where an independent dog groomer could operate out of instead of a car wash. So I was like, let me talk to you about this business here. What do you do? But more importantly to our audience, they're working on Monarch Puzzle, Monsoon, Sunset, and Clown projects. Pretty high-end stuff. A little bit beyond what I'm doing, although I'm catching up. I got a few things cooking along those lines, but they support us here. They sought me out specifically when they heard of an opening, and I'm really appreciative of them. So go check out Heart of the Python. Doesn't cost you anything. Go see them on Instagram and Morph Market, and you'll see them at most national shows. They travel I'm pretty impressed with how they travel. Speaking of impressed, something that's not in the industry enough, the t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt hoodie. This is the perfect weight for indoor comfort when you're hosting morning podcast shows. And that's from Cold Blooded Cafe. You got to check them out. I've been working with Cold Blooded for like 4 years. Fantastic, frozen, consistent rodents. They arrive frozen. They arrive clean. They are fresh. And I know it always freaks out Joe, but open it up. Take a smell. They're nice and fresh. Fresh rodents for your ball pythons. If you use the promo code Proper11, you're going to get free shipping on orders over $200. Last but not least is a Husbandry Pro. How else you going to keep everything sorted and everything going on? I'm pairing like 60 females this winter, Joe. How am I going to track all that? Gotta do it.
Yeah,
Husbandry,
you gotta do it with Husbandry Pro.
Dude, a little QR code, boom, they're in there. They're paired. I can always look it up. People want to know, well, did you pair it with 2 males or only 1? I don't know. Let me look it up. I'll let you know. It's right there. So you can track all of your pairings, feedings, genetic history, genetic data. You make your little tub cards. Your customers know exactly what they're getting, all on Husbandry Pro. Check it out. P Royals 60. Get yourself 60 free days. Don't even have to put in a credit card. Just download the app. get going just like that. How about it, Joe?
When I hear that, so when I first was introduced to the idea of breeding snakes, I thought, well, I can never do that because I don't plan out years and years in advance anything. But then when I heard about Husbandry Pro, I thought, well, maybe this is something I could get into.
You should. I would love for you just to film as well. That conversation with Chelsea of how that's, Adam's finally convinced me. We're going to go in on this. Joe, I'll tell you a story from, so this is going back to, I can remember, I'll tell you, it's going back to 2006. So it's 19 years ago. I had just left Ruby Tuesday and I'd started with the PGA Tour. And I was in over my head, man. Like I walked the walk and I acted the part, but I had no idea what was going on with fine dining. Like I say, I was a guy from 10 years with Ruby Tuesday. Nothing wrong with Ruby Tuesday that got me started very well. Different story though, different caliber of where I was working. And to this day, I'm still good friends with this gentleman, but a guy named Steve Jones, British, very, very proper, accomplished. He got so at that time the PGA Tour, it still is to this day, the flagship property and the headquarters is at TPC Sawgrass in Jacksonville. That's where the restaurant was that I was to run. And Steve Jones to me said, he starts teaching me, this glass is for this and this knife is for this, and you're going to serve from this side and you're going to clear from this side and you got to know tray service. And then he said the words, Adam, it's really a lifestyle that you need to go experience and you need to go live. That's how you're going to be good at this.
Okay.
And I remember saying to myself, when I leave this building, I clock out, pal. Don't tell me how I need to live. You get me while I'm in here. And, outside of there, I'm independent Adam. Don't screw with me.
Right. Yeah.
And over the years, his words proved to be true.
Okay.
You start surrounding yourself with like-minded and people with insight into the business. You start making connections in that industry. You start being inspired by things that you see that other places are doing. You start seeking out, in my case, new flavors in wines or new pairings with drinks or new food recipes. And you get inspired and you get pushed and you want to get a little competitive because you want to do better. And as much as I hate to admit it, I was lucky enough to be in an industry that I really loved and that did afford, if ever there was a lifestyle sort of career, food and beverages, sort of that. So it fit easy, but it kind of got me thinking because I look back. So this week, fast forward to 2025, 19 years later, the owner of the venue that I talk about here in town, and maybe I should keep that private now because they have some of their own business. I don't want to share any private business, but he calls me and it's a venue that I play at, and I've gotten to know the owner just from chatting and hanging out. And he works and he bartends while he's there. And he says, Adam, we're entering a new stage in our business. Some financial things are happening. We're moving up the purchase and blah, blah, blah. And he says, we really need a guiding light on social media and marketing. And he goes, we think you're kind of uniquely positioned both from your background in event space management, but also with your marketing that you do with selling snakes on the internet. And we think that that's really valuable. And so tomorrow morning I have basically a pitch meeting with them to pick up a new client. Okay. And that Steve Jones's words kind of rang in my ear that I sort of wore, instead of going, I clock out and I'm done with that crap, I sort of wear what I do is like, what do you call it? A badge, I wear it on my sleeve, or what's the expression? My heart on my sleeve or whatever.
I guess so. Yeah. I don't
There's
know
something out. I don't know what the expression is, but like I acknowledge what I am. I talk about who I am and what I do, but not in like a bragging way. Just, hey, this is matter of fact. This is what I do. And now this opportunity has come. Same thing at that bank over in Lonsdale that wanted their coffee
Sure.
shop
Yeah.
information. So
Yeah.
now, like, I'm like, this is almost 20 years later, this is sticking in my head. Hey, Adam, you got to live this lifestyle, and that's how you're going to learn, and you're going to attract the right people, and good things are going to come. And that sort of rung in my head this week. And that's what I know in our pre-show planning, I didn't include all those details, but that's sort of my thoughts. And I wondered, like, how do people see it? Because, like I say, I remember being like this defiant kid of like, and I mean, I was 27 at the time. Obviously, I was a professional already by then. I'd had all the experience, but I shifted my mindset from I'm done, I'm out of here, throw that in a box in my brain, to, okay, I'm done, I'm out, but let me go get inspired and sort of explore curiously more what I can do in this space.
Yeah. So I'm more of the mindset that you initially were.
Right. And I think most people are, and I think that's healthy, actually.
Yes.
Unless you really love what you do, and then it's kind of like, okay, cool. I don't know where the in and out is, you know?
I gotta take care of the sun.
Take care of that sun, huh?
Yes, sorry.
Nothing like dead air sells them every time here. Well, Joe figures out the blinds for the sun that comes every morning.
Yeah, I couldn't expect that to happen.
Right. It's so weird that it popped up on you today there.
Yes, and I've also had positions in the past where I've been on call too, like the job. So the job would be, I'd be off work, but there could have been an incident that happened where I would have to jump into action.
Right.
And I hated it because I felt like I was always on.
Right.
So, and it wore me out too. Like I couldn't get away from it. And so I needed to, because of that experience, I needed to create a separation of my work life and my home life. And I thought to myself, I'll never do that again. I didn't like it. And it wore me out. I'll never do it again. And I really have a strict boundary. But the other part of me though is I also have a mind where I am constantly thinking about my work, because I'm somebody who seeks approval and validation, and I want feedback, and so like I'm craving that a lot. So I do get in my mind, and I often have to remind myself that I am, like, as a human being, I am much more than what I do, and I am I try to seek out interests that are not associated with my job or the work that I'm doing, like having a podcast on Thursday morning. This is one of those things where I go, if my work or my professional life has me down, I can go, well, I'm not just an accounting firm guy. I'm a podcaster on Thursday mornings, and I am a stepdad, and I am a friend to this person over here, and and I think that's why I left my last job. One of the reasons I left my last job, and I like kind of this thing where I'm like, I have this thing over here, I have that thing over here, I have this thing over here, because it makes me feel as though if one is getting me down, I have the other one to kind of lift me up.
Well, that resonates with me. Lord knows I've got too many things over here and there. And
right.
You're exactly right though, because it wasn't the reason why I left, but one of the great reliefs of stepping out of restaurant operations, I lived on the property that I managed. So immediately, if at 6:30, a breakfast cook didn't show up. They didn't call other breakfast cooks. They called Adam. And it's man, I need a little bit of space here. Or, the neighbors, I had a lady down the street. She hated our business model and the new pricing and all that. I'd be walking the dog, or I remember I was trying to teach Charlie how to ride his bike one day, and she comes up and berates me and I was like, okay, lady,
I'm not here.
Yeah.
And you have recently talked about this too, which is, the people would see you. Usually you'd be in like a tuxedo and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
At the grocery store, and you'd be like, I'm not working right now. Like,
yeah. They're like, what is this cold-blooded cafe thing that you're wearing? Yeah. So I get exactly what you're saying. So maybe the question is to find where the balance is. How do you shut off when, and then where do you find inspiration or chum the waters or throw the line out?
Yeah. So, and I think what I'm saying, it might be a little different topic than your introductory statements about this topic, because I think like you wanted to learn something, so you immersed yourself in it, and you found you found a way that your life was teaching you about how to be a better employee, or a better server, or a better manager, or a better, like that kind of thing. And I think that might be a little bit of a different thing than what I had in mind, which is like, what I did was like I worked for a military installation where I was the family advocacy program manager, which basically is one of the jobs is dealing with all domestic violence and sexual assault in the catchment area of the installation, which is
that's not so much something you want to be like, hey, let's go find some of that on Friday night, right? Yeah. I mean, not to make light of it, but seriously, like, so you need the separation on that, man.
Right. And that was the thing that I was on call for, like, and it didn't happen. Like, I wasn't on call. Like, I didn't get a call at night often. I'm going to say that, but just the mindset of, I have to be ready and available to deal with this high intensity thing at any point in time on my brain was enough to really just wear me out and make me say, listen, I cannot make my life my job.
Yeah.
I cannot make my job my life, so there might be a little bit of a difference here between,
there's a big difference. Yeah. For all that world has done for me, food and beverage is not important. Like, it's really, I mean, it's important for me.
It is important, though.
Well, it's important for me, and it's important for the people in it, but it's not life or death. Mm-hmm. And let me be really honest. This is not base level necessity. This is some degree of luxury. Nobody, even at Ruby Tuesday, nobody has to go out for a burger and a salad bar. They choose to. That's a bonus in their life versus mm-hmm. world hunger. That's a different story. So, mm-hmm. That's a little bit easier to do. And I'm thinking through this. I'm sort of shooting from the hip here. One thing that was hugely culturally different, I guess why it sticks out in my head too, is that was never uttered at Ruby Tuesday. That was never like encouraged to sort of explore and get better. It was, here's what you do, here's how you do it, go do it. Versus, now they never gave me money or wrote me a check at the PGA Tour to just say, hey, go have fun. But we got, I think it was 12 total, but I got 8 passes. And if you're a golfer, TPC Sawgrass is where you want to play. Home of the 17th hole. I mean, just iconic course. And I got 8 of these free rounds of golf as an employee. And let me tell you, every chef in town wanted one of those passes. So I could walk in with one of those and everything was taken care of. Kind of deal. Yeah. So we got to do that. And then the private club I worked at in North Carolina, they were even more overt about it. That owner would literally say, Adam, take you and your team. You guys need to go to Charlotte. There's 2 nights. We're putting you up. I want you to come back with all kinds of inspiration and ideas, because our most expensive, exclusive members, that's what they're used to. And we need to at least meet that bar, and we need to exceed it. So see you in a couple days.
Yeah.
That was a whole, and I would take the whole management team. We'd go. We'd, eat three dinners at 3 different restaurants that night and go do the same the next day, kind of thing.
Well, maybe it is, but maybe it is like that. So the line is blurred, I think, when you are actually doing the thing that you like to do, though.
That's true. Yeah.
Like with snakes, right? You get into snakes. Do you ever turn it off? I don't know if you ever really turn it off. You kind of have and it's part of the gig to have the obligation to make sure that these things are living.
I make sure that they're alive. I do do that all the time.
But it's something that you like. Like one of my favorite things that I do is I teach courses. So I went down a rabbit hole of like, I'm supposed to teach like, last night my class was about like cults and new religious movements and stuff like that. And I went down a rabbit hole the other day of and it wasn't a part of my job. I didn't have to do it, but I went down a rabbit hole where I was like, I want to learn more about the Jonestown massacre, So I just started reading about that. Or like, the student asked me this question. I should probably have more knowledge about that. I don't really need to, but it would be good to have it in my repertoire. And I go to class last night, and it's one of the main topics that comes up when we start to talk about things. And now I have all this knowledge. So I immersed myself into the topic that I really, really like.
Right.
And it worked out. So there is a blurring of lines when you're doing something that you really enjoy, I think.
One side note, now that you know what you know, do you really cringe when you hear people reference drinking the Kool-Aid? I'm like, man, that's a really horrific saying that has entered our lexicon. I'm like, I don't think you actually know what drinking the Kool-Aid meant. Like, that's where that comes from, folks. Check out the Jonestown Massacre if you'd like to know more about drinking the Kool-Aid.
And a little point, it wasn't actually Kool-Aid. Flavor-Aid. So
there we go. Either get it right or throw it away, folks. Let's put an end to using that one. Now, do you ever go to like? Do you ever ask colleagues if you could sit in on their class, or like, are you ever like, man, this is somebody I really look up to. Maybe I could go check them out, because there's a culture in food, especially the very high end. They call it a stage. You could apply to go basically just work at another restaurant. Unpaid, but you work there for a week. It was in the Bear. They did a stage.
I remember that for the Bear. That was one of my favorite episodes.
Stage. And that's a really inspiring, and that happens. And like, we always envision these restaurants as these archaic free-for-alls. What a nice touch. And that could really be valuable in other institutions. And I was, shouting out some people, but Joe earlier at JSA, I got so inspired when I went to his facility. That really was the baseline for, okay, this is how you do it in Minnesota. When I buy or create or find a landing spot, it is going to have these components because of what I got inspired by going. And I didn't work there, but getting a tour and really picking apart the facility mentally and understanding it.
So I'm formulating this thought, but your question was, do I ever go to somebody else's class? The problem with being an adjunct is that you're not really on the faculty.
Oh, you're not in the gang.
So you're not really in the gang and everything. But I do have a built-in expert who is on a full-time faculty at a college who I live with.
Talk about living the lifestyle. You live with a doctor. That's right.
We are constantly talking about how to handle, like, just we had a kind of a long drive yesterday, and we were talking about there's so much. I'm swamped in grading right now, and we're just talking about how to do that. We don't have to do it, But we're talking about, we have another friend who I met with last night. We talked about, she works at the same place I do. We're both adjuncts, and we're just like, yeah. So being around that crew, I don't shut it off there because I really like talking about it. I like to become a better person, now a better teacher. But so what we're saying to each other is that when the lines are blurred between your work and your personal, it's okay to develop. It's okay if like that's the area that you should allow yourself some personal time to that you can lend your personal time to your work. If it's like all of the other crap that comes along with doing your job there, and if it's not, it doesn't feel good, like that's when I think that's the boundary that you need to create. Like all the garbage of your job, if that's seeping into your personal life, then then I think it's important to have that break. But if it's about developing, it's about becoming a better person, or a better employee, or a better business owner, then I think it's a really good idea to lend some of your personal time to your professional life.
Yeah, and I've heard like groups. My buddy Shane down in Small Town Exotics in Tennessee. I don't know if he leads it, but he certainly goes to it. There's like a local breeders dinner that they do once a month. They just all get together. And like, at first I was like, okay, that sounds like a lot of work. I'm like, no, that's this really smart thing to do. They're all buying and selling to each other. They're all getting inspired from each other. And if they buy, if you get to know what people are working, what projects they're working. And I was like, man, maybe I need to do that here. Or, when there's the thing I missed probably the most about the shows in Florida was that they were 2-day shows. So Saturday night was always the great hang. Everybody from wherever they were all from, we all would, go do dinner and hang out. And Tinley's great for that. But Tinley's like, everything is on turbo. Like you can't, maybe some people can, but I can't afford to behave like I behave at Tinley year round. That's a pretty big blowout. But, you go get burgers and a beer almost anytime, anywhere. And we do that. It's funny. I hang out with Joe. I joke with him. I hang out with Joe more outside of town than I do here in Minnesota. Like we'll see each other in Denver and like, oh, we're going to go get a beer. Yeah. Okay. That sounds we go to Denver to get a beer,
That's right. That's right.
It's really silly. But I think things like that are a really good opportunity. And I think just like you say, it's not, lifestyle's the wrong way because you get burned out on anything. You don't want to just have to wake up, eat, sleep, and drink something because that'll get old at any time. But
now, is that true, Adam, for you? That's true for you, Adam?
Oh yeah, there's days where I'm just like you say, like you got to keep them. You literally got to make sure these things are alive, and you're just like, okay, like in March, I'm going on I know, woe is me. I'm going on this cruise with my family. And I'm like, who's going to watch these things? Who's going to clean these things? I'm going to be looking on my phone app at the temperatures the whole time. I'm going to be checking the security cameras for the car wash the whole time. There's always the great trade-offs, Ooh, I can make my own schedule. I don't have to clock in anymore. I don't have a boss. Yeah. How's that cruise doing for you, Adam? You didn't get to clock out for that, did you? You're still going to, I'm going to be somewhere in Dominican Republic looking on my phone at the temperatures, So
right.
Again, woe is me. I understand it. But so I would like to, but I can't complain. I'm doing what I want to be doing, and I'm consulting with, other restaurants and music venues. And I just I couldn't be happier. There's a tough year. This was a down year, and I hadn't experienced a down year before. So it's not all just, podcasts and reptiles, but it is pretty fun though. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think it is the thing that you're involved with, and I think I think there has to be, for me anyway, there has to be a separation, and I don't have the psychology for it. Like,
Yeah.
and I know people and who just are like so dedicated, and if I were to do that. And I have done it, but not in the way that I see other people do it. It's just not me. I can't. And listen. I'm probably going to be working until the day that I die because I haven't worked that way before, and I think people do that to like. To get into positions where they can stop working eventually and
Right.
like
Yeah.
enjoy their life. But I'd rather enjoy my life now, and can continue to work at this pace and this level until I can anymore. I think so. It's a different psychology. I can't, and I can't get behind it. I just
Yeah.
don't. I just don't have it. I don't. I
Well,
don't
I think some things fit better than others. As I was saying, it was of all the worlds I could be in, food and beverage is a great one to go live the lifestyle. Okay, yeah, I'll go
Mhm.
out tonight and go experience something new. I suppose if I were an undertaker, I probably wouldn't be that excited. Oh, they got one down the street. Let me go see what they do with her. Like that's probably not.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's what they do, but I wouldn't be. I personally wouldn't be excited for that. So I do. My dad always says, "I work to live. I don't live to work." And that always to me was that like really defined, but that told me he
Yeah.
didn't, but that told me he didn't really enjoy what he was doing in my mind.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, and that's not what he would say, but that's what in my mind, I'm like, well, then you're doing the wrong thing. But that's a really like, luxurious statement. Oh, just go do what you love. Yeah. Okay. Just quit everything. Don't worry about the
Right.
family.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the
Yeah.
kids. Yeah. The house payment. That's not real. So I understand that. So I guess like to put a bow on it particularly with the snakes, but maybe even just an entrepreneurial outlook. Like I really find myself thinking a whole lot more like that guy, Mr. Jones, Steve Jones, than the kid in my mind that I was at the time. Like now I'm like, I do need to make time for Chamber of Commerce dinners. I do need to make time for,
Yeah.
I think in the spring I do. People had mentioned earlier, and I kind of blew off the idea as just like more of a headache, but I do think it's a good idea. I think I'm going to do like a once a month, like cars and coffee thing, spring through fall, where like people could just have a community. There's this whole community of like classic cars in the area. Where do they
Mhm.
hang out? I don't know where they hang out. Why don't I go talk to the coffee shop that wants me to consult for them, see if they could bring some coffee, and I'll go talk to this baker down here, see if they want to bring some, I don't know, whatever, beignets or donuts or whatever, and let's just hang out, and I'll play some rockabilly music on the PA, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, I want you to do that.
Yeah.
But you're right. Uh, you're making time for it. And like in my mind, there's no way I don't want to do any of
Well, and
that.
that's the thing. Like, I'm not really into cars. Now, if it was a guitar get together, I'd do it. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
like
right.
they're gonna be like, look at this camshaft, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, man, it's sparkles. That's cool. That's shiny. I don't know what that's gonna be, So
Right,
like, I
right.
don't know, but I think the trick for me is finding the time when I would be there normally anyhow.
Yeah,
If I'm
yeah,
already going to be there, then it's no big deal. If it's another 5 hours that I have to give away, that's a little bit harder for me to do.
yeah.
And actually to tie all that in, I haven't mentioned, we are coming ad free from the good graces of kind folks at PalmStreet for everybody.
PalmStreet. Yeah.
So on Tuesdays, I usually do this live on PalmStreet from the shop. I'm just doing my chores and I'm doing my cleaning and I'm just hanging out, leading talks on the snakes. And if something's for sale, I'll show it. And that actually leads to sales, but it's a place like that. I'm already there. I'm already doing it.
Right.
That's a
Yeah.
great opportunity to build the brand a little bit more.
Yeah.
It wouldn't take me very long to, set up a coffee table and put out the PA every morning, once a month. That's no big deal.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know.
You mentioned Chamber of Commerce
I know.
dinners
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Doesn't that go with Adam? Doesn't that fit? Right. Yeah.
Oh
Um,
gosh.
but if people are into supporting,
Right. Yeah.
at its core, the Chamber of Commerce, which is a little bit ironic because they tend to, not to get too political, but they tend to swing to the right side of the spectrum. But at the core, it's a union, which the ironic part is that tends to swing to the left side. Although again, all the rules are gone these days. So we go swing whichever way anybody wants. I'm down with it. But if they support their members, I want them to go, oh, that dude Adam's a pretty good guy. We should go wash a car there at his place.
Yes, exactly. I mean, getting yourself out there. See, it's interesting because you do have this thing that you love to do, and you would immerse yourself in that kind of learning more than you would this other thing that allows you to do the snakes. So you have the snakes and you have the car wash, and the car wash isn't the thing. The snakes are the thing.
Yeah.
But in order for you to do the snakes,
right, I got to do the car wash really well. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, to make the connection between the things that you have to do with the car wash and the snakes, I think mentally that's what I would have to do. I'd have to go, okay, well, I'm doing this for the snakes.
Yeah, and that's true. That's a good motivation.
Do it all for the snakes.
Do it all for the snakes, man. And I do it well for the snakes. No, so but I think it's only like I'm thinking like 5 events, like May through November or April through November, whatever. I don't know, late April, so we don't have the snow. But I don't know. I got to talk. I'm gonna float that idea through the winter time, and I also have to see what the town thinks of me blaring music at 7 a.m. with a bunch of car guys. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's unintended consequences here. I have to figure this out,
Right, I got you.
So,
well, what do you got coming up this week? What do you have coming up this week?
This week was speaking of all this stuff that we've been talking about, this week was supposed to be the week of nothing. This was the week that I was just going to relax, kick back, just and there's all kinds of stuff to catch up on, like, oh, I didn't get this, I had this actually I got a weird call earlier this week. I had this interesting opportunity this morning at a local place that sells rodents, so I got to go meet with them today. Then, we hadn't seen the family. We saw part of the family on Thanksgiving. The other family we got snowed in on, so they're coming up. And
oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, so suddenly the weekend is like, what am I doing? But it's good.
It's that time of year, right? It's this in between time. It's in between Thanksgiving and Christmas is always crazy. Yeah, there's so many. I think my brother's going to be down in Florida at some point. I'm going to Austin this weekend, Atlanta the next weekend. There's a party that my in-laws are having over at their place next week. A friend of mine is playing in the show next week. So it's just it's good. But I think it's all fun stuff.
As I say, would we have it any other way? Yeah, I'm going to go play music tonight. Oh, tomorrow morning I have the consulting meeting with the event venue. So it's all good, man. The alternative of sitting there cold on the couch is I'm way happier than being stuck in a situation like that. So
and this is so I mentioned just I'll make something out of this. I mentioned I had my last class of the semester last night, and I let them go a little early. I let them go early. Like way early. It's a whole 2.5 hour class. And usually I keep them there. I keep them the whole 2.5 hours. But last night, end of the semester, I was like, we're just going to stay an hour and a half, let them go an hour early. And there were these like 3 guys who just like didn't want to leave. They wanted to like, they were like, I don't want this class to end. I want to hang out a little bit. And they hung out for another hour.
Nice,
like,
man.
With me, and I'm like, cool. I got trivia I got to get to, but they were great. I mean, and it was like, So it's those kinds of moments. Like, I think that's important too. Like, if you're giving your life over to something, to have those moments where, and that's the kind of feedback that I need, is like people who really, really have enjoyed the class and
Right.
like to learn. And we continued to have, it wasn't frivolous conversation. It was really actually an important conversation with these three young guys, where we're talking about religion. We're talking about, how we talk to each other and how we treat each other and everything. And it was just like, this is why, I spend my time doing the things that make me a better teacher. So,
man, soak those moments up. That like you say, when
really
you feel like you
important
make a
to find those
connection,
things.
it's really, really cool when you're able to. So, all right, Joe. Well, I'm going to get to it. I hope you have a great week, dude. Go enjoy Austin and
Cooper's. I'm going.
Go to Cooper.
I'm going to try to go. I don't know.
It's the Cooper's downtown, right in front of the Capitol, man. You're like blocks from the Capitol. The Capitol's right there downtown. Man, more importantly, my very best to Aiden. Can't wait to hear how it goes. Man, I hope he's just firing rockets off his foot, man. That's
we'll
awesome.
See what happens.
Dude. All right.
Thanks,
I'll
everybody.
see you later. Bye, guys.
Always fun. Take it easy.
I preemptively ended it. All right. Bye, guys. See you next time. Same place, same time.